Hi there, tennis fans. I'm Grace Carter, and this is Tennis Now, presented by Tennis Express. Tennis Express, order today, and it ships today.
Novak Djokovic could be in the biggest battle of his career, as once again Australian authorities have canceled his visa. Novak arrived in Melbourne unvaccinated, hoping to defend his AO title on a medical exemption. His visa was almost immediately canceled, then reinstated, and now canceled again by Immigration Minister Alex Hawke, who exercised his personal power of cancellation in a decision announced just before 6 p.m. Australia time, Friday, January 14th. Hawke says his decision is based on health and on the basis that it was in the public interest to do so. He said in making the decision, he carefully considered information provided by the Department of Home Affairs, the Australian Border Force, and Mr. Djokovic. Now, this is the latest twist in a highly charged case that has divided the world. Melbourne endured one of the hardest lockdowns on the planet during the pandemic and is now battling the Omicron variant. Novak's legal team will appeal the decision, but he is in a race against time as the AO starts on Monday. Novak is the only unvaxxed singles player, man or woman, in the draw. Immigration authorities have asked Novak to appear Saturday morning when he's expected to then enter detention. As we tape today's news on Friday, Novak is free and not detained. As you know, stakes are historically high in a very complex case that transcends tennis, carrying political implications as well. If the world number one loses his appeal, not only will he not play for a men's record 21st Grand Slam crown, he faces the prospect of a 3-year ban from Australia and potentially problems sustaining his place on tour amid restrictions and what now has become a PR nightmare. If Novak wins the case, or at least gets it delayed, the tennis world will buckle up for what could be one of the wildest Grand Slam events in recent memory. Here's what it means for the AO draw. If Novak is deported before the day one schedule is released, then number 5 seed Andrei Rublev moves to the top spot. Gael Monfils moves to Rublev's position, and the highest-ranked non-seed takes Monfils' spot. If Djokovic is forced out of the field after the day one order of play is issued, then a lucky loser will replace the world number one at the top of the draw. If Novak is bounced, it blows open the top half of the draw, giving 6-seeded Rafa Nadal, who's in the top half with Novak, the opportunity to play for a 21st Grand Slam title. We've read conflicting reports about Novak's legal strategy. Some experts say his team will argue to expedite the case, believing Djokovic followed the rules as stated by Tennis Australia and hoping they can win an appeal. Other legal experts say Novak's team will file the appeal and try to delay the case and drag out the proceedings, which would allow him to compete while the case is resolved. In case you missed our last video, Novak tested positive for COVID on December 16th, the second time he's contracted the coronavirus. Tennis Australia's lead doctor approved his medical exemption on December 30th on the grounds that he had recovered from coronavirus, which means he has very high natural immunity right now. Frankly, all this makes us wonder about Novak's competitive future. Now, he is standing up for his health and for his individual freedom when it comes to medical choices. But at this point, he is almost standing alone. The ATP reports that 97 of the top 100 men are vaccinated. So with restrictions and vaccine mandates, play may be very limited in the near future. According to ESPN analyst Brad Gilbert, traveling and playing on tour as an unvaccinated player is going to be very difficult. Many tournaments may not allow those unvaccinated players in. As you can imagine, passions are running very high on both sides of this ongoing legal rally between Djokovic and the Aussie government as players and the public take sides. Novak supporters say the government issued the second cancellation to try to tamp down public outrage, and they did it late on Friday to limit his time to appeal. Supporters say this is a freedom fighter standing up for his rights and his conviction. Critics say nobody is above the law, particularly when the government consistently said all players must be fully vaxxed to play in the Australian Open. Some players are speaking out against Nole. Stefano Tsitsipas says Nole is playing by his own rules, making his ATP colleagues look like fools. So, what do you say? Do you think Nole is going to win this fight and get to defend the title? And what about the future? Do you think Brad Gilbert is right on this one? that players who are unvaccinated are going to see very limited possibilities going forward. Sound off in the comment section, and we'll see you next time.